I am literally waking out of my sleep. Out of my sleep at 1 a.m., looking at my phone and seeing Shams and Woj reporting that Kevin Durant, has been traded to the Phoenix Suns. The NBA trade deadline has been crazy, man. We have seen some of the craziest trades so far, and we're not even at the deadline yet. I'm making this video right now at 1 a.m. because too much has gone on, and we gotta talk about it, bro. Let's get right into it. Kevin Durant, as you already seen, has been traded to the Phoenix Suns in a trade where the Phoenix Suns are sending Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, and 4 unprotected first-round picks to the Brooklyn Nets. Mind-blowing. When we saw Kyrie Irving get traded, we all knew the inevitable of Kevin Durant possibly being traded from the Brooklyn Nets. We didn't know if it was going to happen now. We most likely believed it was going to happen later on in the offseason. It seems as if like the Brooklyn Nets front office and Kevin Durant's management team have come to an agreement that it was best for him to get moved on. And now he's in Phoenix. You have a team of Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and somehow, some way, the Suns were able to keep DeAndre Ayton. Now, on paper, that team is one of the best teams in the Western Conference, period. I don't care how you slice it. Devin Booker is not an all-star this year, but when healthy, he's been putting up all-star numbers. Chris Paul hasn't been having a great year, fair enough, but when you put him alongside Kevin Durant, who's one of the best players in the game when he's healthy, this team has loaded offensive power, and you still kept DeAndre Ayton. I'm not going to sit up here and say that this team is going to be the championship favorites, because I think we already know. We've seen this movie before with big-time trades. We got to see them play on the court. But the star power that Phoenix has is completely above almost every team in the Western Conference. A duo of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, who are both averaging over 27 points per game on great efficiency. You add in the fact that you still have Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton. And I think that even with this team, you still have assets and backup players on the bench, but they're going to have to make some more moves, of course, to really straighten out this roster. But the pieces are all there. You have Kevin Durant locked in for 3 years, at least 3 more years of Kevin Durant. And if you can keep that with Devin Booker, who's locked in, and Chris Paul's locked in for the next 2 years, the Suns were trying to make this move earlier in the offseason last year, and they somehow got it done. Credit to them, because now they're one of the best teams in the Western Conference. And when KD gets healthy, back on the court, we're going to see something very special in Phoenix. And hopefully it gets together and they can stay healthy. For Brooklyn, this is one of the trades where I don't know if this was a trade that they should have made. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a trade where I look at it and I'm saying 4 first-round picks for Kevin Durant. Guys, we got to remember, Rudy Gobert was traded for damn near 5 to 6 picks. James Harden just 2 seasons ago was traded for 6 picks. And guess what team has Brooklyn Nets picks? The Houston Rockets. Matter of fact, we're going to get to the Houston Rockets. But the Brooklyn Nets now have a team that is filled up with guys who can defend. They have guys who are young. And I don't think this team is necessarily going to just bottom out completely. I do think they're a bottom 5 roster, but I can't sit up here and not say that they don't have talent on that roster. I think a team with Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Nick Claxton, and Cam Thomas. I like the defensive promise that this team has, and they're young. And I also like the fact that Cam Thomas looks like a guy who can go get you buckets. So even with that, the Nets do have something that they can look forward to. I do think that getting those picks from the Suns were a great pickup. They're all unprotected first-round picks, and I think that even with the Suns being as dominant as they are, we all know that injuries can make a big difference in this league, and we can see what happens with those picks, but at least they got some assets back, as they're clearly going to have to rebuild this team into a championship team again. But I'm not going to lie to you, I would have made this trade in the offseason to really see what you could have gotten back for Kevin Durant. I think that they pushed the button a little too quick, but we'll see. The trade deadline has not ended yet, and we might see some more moves later on this afternoon at the trade deadline. In regards to the Brooklyn Nets picks, another team in the Western Conference that came up was the Houston Rockets, my team. With this trade that they made 2 years ago, they currently own the Nets picks for the next 5 years going into 2027 due to unprotected first and pick swaps. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is a huge come up for any Houston Rockets fan. I talked about it before and I said it again. With James Harden leaving, with Kyrie leaving, with KD leaving, the Nets are in a situation where they have to rebuild without their own assets, and it's gonna be tough for them, and it's gonna be hard for them to bring a star attraction back into Brooklyn. Houston, who's in a rebuild right now, who have good young players like Jalen Green, Alperen Şengün, KPJ, Jabari Smith Jr., Kenyon Martin Jr., Tari Eason. This team now owns the future of a team that's going to be in a rebuild most likely over the next 5 years. This is a huge come up for the Rockets. Rafael Stone, the GM, gets a lot of praise because many people wanted him to make a trade for Ben Simmons back in 2021 when James Harden wanted out, but he stayed the course, got those picks from the Brooklyn Nets, and now he's about to reap the benefits, which could be huge, massive assets for the Houston Rockets in their rebuild. They can go ahead and trade for a star. They can do so many things with those assets while still focusing on that young core. But we got to stop talking about the worst teams in the league. The Lakers made some moves earlier this day as well. Like I said before, the Western Conference, I ain't gonna lie to you. If you have not, it is an arms race. The Lakers this afternoon traded Russell Westbrook and have brought in D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt, and only sent away Russell Westbrook and a first-round pick. Now, on paper, again, I like what the Lakers have done. D'Lo, I know people talk about his efficiency and what he can do, but I think he's a much better shot maker and shot creator from the outside. It can fit much better with LeBron and AD, and I love the pairing of Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt. The Lakers are lacking shooting, and Malik Beasley, by the numbers, is one of the best three-point shooters in the league right now. And what you saw from him in Utah this season, he is a reliable three-point shooter, average on defense, and he can fit along the lineups that they have in LA right now. Not to mention, I love this pickup of Jared Vanderbilt. Jared Vanderbilt is a solid 4 to sit next to AD that can give that defensive front court a strong pairing. I love the lineup that the Lakers could run with an AD at the 5, Vanderbilt at the 4. You still have Rui Hachimura who they picked up at the 3. And you could run lineups with LeBron actually at point guard and let him literally handle the rock with the versatility that this team has with front court players, wings, shooting, shot creation added in. This is a very good pickup by the Lakers, and I think only giving one first-round pick in 2027 that's protected is a solid deal by Rob Pelinka, and we got to give him his credit for getting that done. The Lakers got what they needed now. They're the 13th seed. It's time to go on a run. LeBron, AD, you got your wish. Now it's time to get some wins, and I think this team, like we've all been saying in the back of our minds, LeBron in the playoffs is a different guy. And I think if LeBron and AD can go on a run with this new team that's been fully loaded now, I like what they can do. And again, the trade deadline's not over yet, so we'll see what happens. And lastly, we can't forget about the Dallas Mavericks that just went ahead and said, you know what, Luka, we're going to get you some help. Kyrie Irving is a Dallas Maverick. And tonight, they just won their first game. Kyrie Irving is now a Dallas Maverick. And this leads back to the Brooklyn Nets issues that led to Kyrie Irving now becoming a Dallas Maverick. This looks like a pairing that is going to be a problem for so many teams in the Western Conference. I already talked about how Luka Doncic is one of the best playmakers in the game, and Kyrie Irving is one of the best off-ball players in the game, period. That pairing offensively is going to be great, and I love the addition that now that Luka last year, let's think about it, he was able to get to the Western Conference Finals alongside with Jalen Brunson, who's having a great year, an all-star caliber year, and now you give him a guy in Kyrie Irving who I think is much better than Jalen Brunson. You get a guy who can create shots off his own, who can cut to the basket, who's an off-ball player, can stand still, shoot the 3. He has another guy where if Luka can't get it going, Kyrie can help him out. And I think that when you look at the backcourts in the Western Conference, that's easily the best backcourt in the Western Conference right now. Now, I do think that this team, again, when you trade for an offensive superstar, you give up some depth. And this team defensively hasn't been the greatest, but you got to look at some of the players that they still have on their team. Different players on that team are going to help to fill in their roles that can make this team be a lot more strained going into the later parts of the season. The only gripe that I have with this trade is that I want Kyrie Irving to sign that extension as soon as possible, but it's already been reports that he doesn't have any type of urgency to sign that extension, and he's happy to be in Dallas. So if he's happy to be in Dallas, that means he might want to stay. So hopefully he does. And I do think that even with what Dallas gave up in Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, wasn't too much to really be mad about. I think that even with that 2029 first round pick that they traded, it's not technically worthless, which I tweeted out when it happened. I do think that it is kind of not important in the years that you have Luka, because if Luka's here playing at one of the all-time great young levels at a young player, then you have to give him some help. And I think that what you did is you took a chance with Kyrie Irving, a guy who says he wants to be here. That's a move that you have to make. You have to be aggressive when your guys are playing good. And Mark Cuban, owner of the Dallas Mavericks, decided to do that. So I like this move. I think that they need to make a little few more moves if possible, and hopefully we can see what they do next. Like I said before, the Western Conference is no joke right now. Not even just the Western Conference. The Eastern Conference is now much more wide open, with the Nets basically blowing their entire team up. In regards to the Western Conference, this is going to be a fight to the finish to get into the playoffs. The Lakers have a much better constructed roster than before. You have the Suns, who now have one of the best offensive players on their team right now. Dallas and Phoenix has now just re-upped their team with superstar talent. It almost feels like the younger teams that were making a step forward this season, like the Sacramento Kings, Memphis Grizzlies, the New Orleans Pelicans, it's going to be a lot tougher now to get out of the Western Conference. And I think that this is going to be tough on them, but we still got to see these teams that gathered all these players. They got to play on the court, and it's going to be a great finish to see, because I'm not going to lie to you. What we have seen in the Western Conference tonight, I don't know if we've seen this in a very long time. The last time I can remember this is when Kawhi and PG both signed with the LA Clippers back in 2019 in the middle of the night. Like, this is one of the most rare occasions in NBA history where we've seen players get traded like this so quickly. Superstar players get traded like this during the trade deadline. But I just want to add again, KD going to the Suns. I like that team a lot. I think that they have one of the best offensive duos with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, two of the best shot makers in the league. And I think that right now, they still have everything that you need to get to a Western Conference Finals. They just got to be healthy and see what they can do with that roster. But right now, that team looks really, really good. You look at the Brooklyn Nets, that team is going to go through it. I think that maybe they might make another move to try to add in another player. But I think that with Ben Simmons' contract and with the players that they have and not owning their picks for the next few years, it's going to be very, very tough for Brooklyn to try to rebuild their team. To have Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving and not to win a championship, and all three of them are traded within 2 years, it's insane to see what happened in Brooklyn when we all thought that that team was going to be a dynasty. The trade deadline ends in like the next 12 hours. We'll see if anything else happens. And I'm recording this right now, so something crazier might happen. Let's check your phone. Literally, check your phone. This is what happened tonight. I had to make a video on this, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I usually don't make videos of me just rambling like this, but if you enjoyed the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn that post notification bell on so you never miss a video. And until next time, stay on beat.